Oh God, I have to mute this. Oh, there we go. All right,
Yeah,
I'm here.
sorry.
I exist.
You
No, it's all good. I was
do.
getting that cool reverby echo thing.
There we go.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, I'm trapped in a computer, so other than that, I'm doing pretty great. How
uh,
you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah,
Good.
y'all see the Gabo?
Hi, it's me.
Uh, Want to introduce yourself? Name, pronouns, all that jazz?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm OccultComics. I'm a little non-binary goblin creature. I use they and them. I draw pictures and I go on very long, overly complicated rants about everything, just all of it, just words.
Yeah.
It's just word salad in my brain. I've got at least two brain cells. They work very hard.
Putting in that overtime.
That's all they do. My head is so hot it hurts.
And yeah, you are responsible for this legendary piece of fan art here.
Yes, yes.
Which I'm quite a fan of. I really like my character design there.
Oh, do
Just throw that
expect
out there.
more. I'm catching up on things. I take commissions, and that's how I make the majority of my green leafy spendy eaty money. And right now I'm a little full up on that, but I'm gonna start taking Saturdays and Sundays off like forever, so I can work on other stuff as well. So expect more. Expect more.
Okay, excellent.
Good.
I
Good.
didn't I expect nothing, but I will expect more.
Good. Good. This is what I'm
Yes.
after.
There we go. Um, so you emailed me a while ago, and we were going to talk about Superman.
Yes. Yes.
'Cause
Superman.
as many might surmise from the word comics in your name, you like comic books.
Yes, I do. It's unhealthy. I have a problem. If I don't finish reading a comic book that I'm reading, I get these strange headaches that doctors can't explain.
Wait,
Um,
wait for real?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. That's a joke I stole from a Cracked video that's like
Oh no.
10 years old now.
Oh, back when Cracked was like super good.
Oh, yeah, no, back when the OG crew was there, when the After Hours crew was still working,
Yeah.
it was O'Brien,
Yeah,
you
Daniel
know the one,
O'Brien.
yes, Daniel O'Brien.
Yeah.
It was from Pop Culture Disorder. I quote it like all the time. He said, "I have to finish movies I'm watching, otherwise I get these strange headaches doctors can't explain." And I
Yeah.
have the same weird brain disease that he does when it comes to finishing things that I start. So either it's I have to finish them, even if they're bad. That's why I sat through the Shyamalan Avatar movie.
Oh
God,
god. Oh god.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
my
it's a
condolences.
problem. Honestly, it's appreciated. I feel bad about it.
um, yeah, oh god, I loved Cracked back in its heyday. I'm happy
Oh,
that
same.
some of the writers have gone on to like do some more news, and some of them are on. I know Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Some of them are
Oh
in the writers'
yeah.
room for that.
I don't know if you remember Soren Bowie, the one who
Yeah,
yeah, he works on American Dad.
he seems like a good fit for that show.
He is. He is. He fits the weird, absurdist everything about that show. I think it's why it got better after he joined. I credit him alone, just him.
I actually got in trouble once because I retweeted a tweet of his that was making fun of it was like using feminists to make fun of like a different thing, but then
Hmm.
I forget exactly what it is. I'd have to dig through like years of tweets, but all I remember is that I retweeted like a funny thing that he wrote, and
Hmm.
to my mind, he's not very problematic. Like his
Yeah.
jokes are not like gasp my stars and garters, but
Yeah.
I retweeted him, and at the time I was working as a game journalist, and like apparently we got like a bunch of different complaints, not to me on Twitter, but like to the organization I worked for. It was very weird.
That's bizarre. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it makes sense. People who I can see it happening. I can see it expanding to like a workplace kind of thing. It still baffles me sometimes. seeing like letters being written to parent companies. I don't know, like it's I don't know how to wrap my head around some of the complaints that I've seen, because the complaints that always fly up to like my radar are things like, you involved a trans person, you must be the devil. Which, I mean, no, but it's, I don't know. I saw a video a while ago talking about people who like do serial complaining on things. It was from Alex Hirsch talking about working on Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking about how like Disney standards and practices stopped him from doing like just an insane amount of jokes, because people would write in letters to complain about those jokes. And it's like, they're not problematic jokes, they're not ridiculous jokes, but it's people being overly cautious entirely about like, they accused him of making makeout parties popular, and I've
What?
never heard of one of those.
Wait,
I
wait,
don't know what a makeout party is.
what do you know now? Like, what is a makeout party?
Um, he asked the same question. He never got a straight answer. To my knowledge, it is a party where a bunch of teenagers go to each other's houses and make out. And if these occurred in high school, I was not in the loop.
I I think that's just called a party.
I
like,
think so.
Like, I'm pretty sure teenagers just make out at parties. I think that's a thing. Yeah, like
I think you're right.
like one goes to a party to make out, right? Like a lot of
That
like a
seems
lot of
to be generally
teenagers?
the goal. Yeah. I would imagine that is the thing that you that is an end goal.
I mean, I guess if I found out like I had a teenager who was going to parties to make out, I'd be like, whew, dodged a bullet there. At least, like, that's literally like the best thing one could go to a party for. Like,
True.
oh, yeah, they're not going to a party for like underage drinking or drugs or like
They just want to go be hormonal
or
and
crimes.
put their face on someone. Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to
Like,
socialize in a safe environment. Okay.
yeah, that seems like the right thing to do. Sorry, I'm also looking at chat just in case like somebody from the Gob Squad says something. And just gamer, you guys were invited to parties? Oh, make no mistake, I was not invited to parties. I threw parties,
I went to a
and
couple
all my
parties.
friends showed up.
Aw.
No, in college I went to the parties. That's when the parties happened.
Okay, I need to make a big confession. I actually went to like negative parties in college because I went to one house party, and it was as part of a class. I went as part of homework.
Oh my god, that's actually kind of awesome. Like, holy shit.
I was in a class about like the anthropological history of like alcohol consumption. And so for like one of our papers, we had to like go to a party and like write about how like the use of alcohol, like what it like signified within that social context. It was actually really interesting to do.
That's
and
fucking amazing.
I wound up breaking up a fight while I was there. I don't know. It was a good time.
That is that is cooler than the reason I went to parties when I was in college.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I went to parties in college for 3 big reasons. One, I hit my slut era and never looked back.
Hell yeah.
Which, you know, I have done things. My hormones have led me to places I wouldn't go with a gun.
Oh dear.
Also, to and this is gonna get a little sad. To placate my shittiest friends who were like, you gotta go, and I'm like, I don't want to, and they were like, no, you're going, and then I was stuck there because they were the only person with a car. I actually have one of the best stories of my life of like noping out of somewhere. So, okay, I lived in a town, and I won't dox myself here by giving my exact address, but I don't live there anymore, so I feel comfortable saying the name of the town. It's called Bullhead City.
Okay.
It's a bad town. Don't live there. I go to a house party, right? And I'm like, I'm 30 now or 40 years old. Who knows? I don't. I stopped counting. But I go to this house party. I'm like 22. I walk in. I sit down. The people I know immediately go to the back room. They start making loud animal noises. And I think, oh, you invited me here so you could have sex and I could sit in the living room and talk to your friends. I hated that.
Yep.
We're not friends anymore. Uh, the people outside are having a little cookout, which is fine. That's cool. I dig that. They're doing the little like bonfire thing.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't drink at all, right? I just didn't drink. So everybody's having a beer and they're like vibing. And me now, I could crack open a beer and talk about whatever. Like I wasn't like there emotionally or mentally when I was 22. It wasn't a thing I could enjoy doing. It just made me anxious.
Yeah.
And the dude next to me, sitting on the couch, like we've got Cartoon Network on, and I'm vibing because I'm a person with a soul, so I like cartoons.
As you do.
And he turns to me and goes, "You want to hit this?" And he's holding a piezo smoking meth.
A piezo?
A piezo is a type of crack pipe.
Ah, okay.
It is I learned that term living in Bullhead.
In this case, a meth pipe?
A meth pipe, yes.
Okay.
So he has a solo red lighter smoking a rock of meth, and he just casually turns to me and goes, "You want a hit of this?" I got up, I went to the nearest person I knew with a car, and I said, "Take me the fuck home now," and I never saw any of them again.
Oh dear.
That was an event.
Yeah.
I haven't been to many house parties after that. The ones I have been to involve a lot of Cards Against Humanity and Discount White Claw.
That's
which,
fair.
I mean, those are fun.
Yeah.
Mario Party though, Mario Party now.
Yeah.
My roommates have Mario Party, so it's just Mario Kart, Mario Party. Anytime we have like a get together, and I vibe on that so hard.
Yeah. Oh. Look, there's no better vibe than getting tipsy and playing Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Party is already such a bullshit game that when you get drunk and play it, like it's far more fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, question though. Okay,
yeah.
we're gonna get into some Q&A here.
Okay.
I'm assuming some control of this conversation for a moment because the people need to know.
Okay.
Jack.
Yeah.
The people need to know. Okay, these are 4 important questions I have to ask you. And they're going to end with 2 important questions about Superman, and this will shape how I feel about you as a person.
Okay.
Okay, number 1.
Pressure.
Who is your favorite character in Mario? Who do you play as in the games?
I am a member of the proletariat, so I like to play as the Koopa Troopa.
Oh
my
god, my theory continues to be correct. It's impossible for me to take an L on this. My favorites are Bowser and Dry Bones.
Yep.
Every other trans person I know I have ever met says Koopa Troopers, Dry Bones, Bowser, Shy Guy. Only people in Bowser's crew.
Yep. They're the coolest ones. And the most downtrodden.
They are. They're so fucking awesome.
No. People in chat are saying Yoshi. Yoshi is a member of the petit bourgeois, okay? He just there to eat.
That's fair. Yoshi only cares about consumption. Yoshi is a metaphor for unrestricted capitalism. Notice that every time he eats, the moment he is done eating, he defecates another item.
Yep.
He is the machine. Yoshi is the machine. Okay, second question. Tilting forward further into things. Sexiest X-Man.
Oh god.
There is a correct answer to this.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is there are 2. And honestly, it's like the most like everyone thinks they're the sexiest ones. Gambit and Jubilee.
Oh, my soul. Ouch. Okay.
Gambit and Jubilee are objectively the sexiest ones. Storm is also up there, but like Storm was done dirty in like the 90s cartoon.
Okay, Jack.
Yeah.
You lost so much street cred just now.
I'm sorry.
Okay, first you mentioned Storm and not looking good in the 90s. Have you ever seen
Storm looks good in the 90s, it's just that the show didn't do enough with her.
This is fair, but have you seen her mohawk look?
It's very good. Storm.
Have you seen her modern look?
Storm in pretty much everything is great. Like fabulous.
True. Oh, also the correct answer was bearded Nightwing or Nightcrawler. I sent you a picture for reference.
I like Nightcrawler a lot, but I like him in the sense of like he's a precious cinnamon roll who must be protected at all costs.
This is fair. The only reason I bring this up is because I believe it's the Claremont run of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Claremont's run in the X-Men explored a lot of different themes the X-Men was like about. Plus, X-Men Evolution. He was a cinnamon bun, and I love him. And I love that when he used the hologram, his hands just started spocking all the time because they couldn't give him extra fingers.
Wait a minute. Did I say Gambit and Jubilee?
You did.
Oh shit, I meant Rogue, not Jubilee.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Look. I can't deny that the Cajun characters aren't sexy. Okay, especially Rogue.
Look, I'm
Like,
a sucker. I'm a sucker for a superheroine who can kill me with the
this
touch
is
of her hand.
fair.
It's a
This is
sexy
fair.
attribute that, you know what, carries over into my real world preferences for people. Okay.
That's true. You know, like, I love the kind of woman that'll straight up just kill me. I woke up this morning.
My partner just texted me, "What Jubilee, Jack White?" And then, okay, yes, Rogue is correct. And you know what? My partner is very close to Rogue, so I think I actually exceeded Rogue as a standard.
I'm
In
sorry,
my
Mint.
real
Right, you're
world.
correct. Rogue isn't Cajun. She's Southern,
Yeah.
which is like the Fresca of Cajun.
Fresca. Well, okay, wait. What does that mean? Fresca is amazing.
Okay, no, I didn't. It's not bad. It's just not the same thing. Like, Cajun is Sprite, Southern is Fresca. I'm not insulting anyone here. I'm just saying that there's a difference that with a common connector. They're both citrus based and delicious, and I would let Gambit and Rogue do things to me that would get me banned on Twitch. But my point is, I disagree. I disagree. I think the sexiest X-Men
Mm-hmm.
are Nightcrawler, because as I was saying, the Claremont thing.
Wait.
Claremont.
One second. Chat. Are we hearing Clarice can kill Jack if she wanted to? Absolutely. Have you
Oh
seen
God,
Clarice? Have you seen Clarice?
I've never seen Clarice actually.
Clarice could absolutely murder me and I would die happy. Okay? I'm a very, very lucky individual.
Fan fucking
Clipped
tastic.
and shipped. Yeah.
Clipped and shipped. But the thing with the Claremont run is that Nightcrawler's entire thing there was that his otherness and sensuality made him sexy. So when you read that run, you see a lot of like Nightcrawler being like this lithe, sensual character who's almost like feminine form of masculinity, this very soft, like sad kind of exterior, made him very sexually desirable without like objectifying him in this really deft way. So you read these comics, and like there's this famous panel where Senator Kelly points at Nightcrawler and goes, "You call that a human being?" And Nightcrawler looks like a blue demon man. And the whole point is, yeah, he looks different. So what? He can also teleport and knows swords. He's fucking cool. And
he is objectively cool. Like, he travels through a demon realm to like poof away.
True. Oh, and I don't know if you know this about him in particular, but during the Claremont run, have you ever heard of Planet and Sword stories? So it's this like rare subgenre of comics, rarer now than it used to be. It's kind of like John Carter and the Apes of Mars, where it's like different planets and different places in the universe have like a vague fantasy medieval-esque aesthetic, but they're an alien world, so it's all like bizarre and strange. And Nightcrawler was basically a space pirate.
Okay.
He was a badass
cool.
space pirate doing swashbuckling stuff, and half the panels he's half naked showing off his six-pack. He's awesome. I love him. He's also canonically velvety. His skin feels like velvet because he has a thin level of fur across his entire body.
Okay.
And he smells nice. Apparently he smells like lavender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Takes care of himself.
Oh, he does. He does. I mean, I sent you a picture of the beard.
Oh, that beard. Okay, yeah.
Yes, that beard. He looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Storm's new costume as well. Storm is. I've always had a soft spot for Mohawk Storm. Mohawk Storm is the superior Storm. I would have thought he smelled like brimstone. You'd think, but a lot of characters canonically like smell different than what you'd think they do. They describe that. Like Superman always smells like fresh laundry, apparently. Oh, and Wolverine canonically smells horrible all the time, and I love him for that. He's a short, muscly, hairy, smelly little troll man, and he's amazing. Canonically, he's 5'2".
Huh.
Yeah. I am taller than Wolverine. Most of everybody is taller than Wolverine. That's one of the things that makes him cool. He also weighs like 800 pounds or something because of the adamantium. Okay, the other questions. All right.
Yeah, also, who is going around sniffing the superheroes?
Oh, simple. The writers. That's an easy answer. I'm sorry. The writers. Also, I think Lois Lane is the one that says he always smells like fresh laundry. Oh, and a neat thing just happened. So I don't know if you keep up with modern comic books.
I do not.
Superman and Lois have a child.
Okay.
His name is Jonathan Kent, and he is a new Superman. Like, due to comic book shenanigans, he's like a teenager. He's older now, and he does cool stuff. But he's talking to his mom, and they open the closet, and they see a costume that Superman wore when he was in like basically a prisoner on like a battle world.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they keep it because of sex things. It is entirely a sex thing.
Yeah.
Lois turns bright red and then acts like John should have never have seen that. And apparently they kept it because Lois asked. I just sent you a picture of the costume.
You know
Um,
though, like I feel like most superhero costumes are at least a little bit of sex thing. You know?
you'd think, yeah.
Like a little bit like you're dating honey, you're dating someone who wears a skin tight suit on like a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, like
yeah.
actually, you and Alan Moore have that opinion in common. Part of when you read Watchmen, when you go into Under the Hood, which is like the book within a book series, written by the first Night Owl, he talks about how there was a sexual element to being a superhero. Because, it's physical activity, you're wearing a skin tight costume, sometimes you're half naked,
Yeah.
it's thrilling, and you fuck afterwards. Um, oh, and last sex fact about superheroes, and this will piss off Marvel editorial because they keep denying that they're a perfect couple, even though they are. Spider-Man and MJ have freaky bondage spider sex in canon. They're very open about it, and Spider-Man gives head.
Well, of course he does.
Apparently very well. Yeah, because
Yeah.
just Peter Parker's the boy.
Wait. Okay. Since we're already this deep, and we're talking about Spider-Man giving head.
Yeah.
Does his sticky power also apply to his tongue?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I am so happy that you asked that question. Yes, literally every single part of him. There is no part of Spider-Man that does not have the ability to rip you apart. So a thing about his sticky powers, what he actually is doing in the comics, he's not covered in hairs like he is in the movie.
Okay.
He is covered in because his powers are kind of radiation based, he is altering the molecular attraction of his body in another object, which lets him stick to any surface at all, literally anything. Meaning, if he wanted to, he's staying where he is. Let your mind run wild there. It takes a lot of trust to have sex with Spider-Man. In addition to that, there's this thing called the Mark of Cain. Now, there's this infamous storyline, the Clone Saga with Spider-Man. One of the clones, because he is an edgy, angry boy, he's named Cain. He takes his hand, puts it on someone's face, and sort of flexes the sticking powers, which forces the skin on the person's face to constrict under the sticking ability so tightly it rips itself off of their face,
What
leaving
the
a
hell?
hand-shaped welted scar on them.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's actually really fucking cool. I've always liked that. Like, I like a little edginess here and there. I'm a comic book fan. Oh, what does Deadpool smell like? Canonically horrible. He uses cologne to cover it up sometimes, but he's very sweaty. His suit is very leathery. He is also literally filled with cancer at all times, which apparently fucks up his sweat glands because he's always regenerating. So it's a mixture, to my knowledge, of new baby and athlete's foot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh.
Enjoy that. I think movie Deadpool though smells a little bit nicer, despite what drives me nuts.
Movie Deadpool just smells like burnt leather and Axe body spray. All of the Axe body spray.
Also, he's not even unattractive in the movie. That was the hardest part to believe for me. I can buy everything else, but it's like, oh no, I look so ugly, dude. You look like a wrinkly version of Ryan Reynolds. I don't care how much makeup you put on top of yourself. You don't look bad. Maybe it's just me, because in the comic he's like majorly like scarred, like he's missing his lips sometimes. It's a whole thing. Oh, Duke, I have to ask, at what point was this information revealed in the various comics? It's sort of sprinkled throughout the years. It's one of those things you need to pick up because characters have smelled Deadpool just because like they're around him, and Deadpool's very like he's a character the writers become aware of a lot of the times. Um, so it just comes up here and there, you know. Oh, and I forgot what the other question was, so I guess I'm gonna ask the last one. And this is very important. This delves into the Superman thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Lay it on me.
There are two camps in Superman. Okay, in Superman lore.
Okay.
Trunks or no Trunks. And this is the defining line a lot of the time. In the Trunks camp, people are like, well, the Trunks are goofy, but Superman's goofy. And maybe it should be accepted as a little goofy. Or it's a classic look, it breaks up the blue of the bodysuit. In the no Trunks camp, they're like, the Trunks are goofy, we should get rid of them. The Trunks have looked bad on a lot of suits, and no Trunk suits also look good, so we should ditch them.
Like you're talking the red undies?
Yes. They're not undies, they're Trunks.
I'm pro red undies.
Thank you.
Yeah. The point of the Superman suit in my mind was never to look cool. It was always to just like be eye-catching and be like approachable and like a kind of like a symbol of hope type situation. And like I feel like you are more approachable if you look like you are trying to cover your junk.
That's fair. That's fair. There's actually like from a design reason when Jerry and Joel, the guys made two. It's like Jerry Spiegel and Joel Schuster. I think I'm fucking up their names. The reason Superman's costume looks the way it does, the reason for the underwear, is because of circus performers. The underwear and the knee-high boots are a strongman outfit. That's why he has the belt and the and the short trunks and the boots. The bodysuit and the cape are an acrobat. It's meant to be like a circus acrobat because Superman originally just jumped around a bunch. He didn't fly.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Once I got the
so it's like a second. Oh, okay. So it's like a combination of a bunch of different, the different elements of like a circus.
Yeah, exactly. There he is. 666 KBS 666 got is Jerry Spiegel and Joel Schuster. Yeah. I knew I was right. Vanity wore bright colors so the planes could see him. I am actually not sure of that. That might be a thing. I mean, it makes sense.
Though,
but at the same time,
you would think he would not wear blue then, right?
Well, at the same time, you know. Well, one of the big reasons why so many characters in comic books have simple primary colors is actually printing cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned this about Marvel back like after they switched from Timely Comics, I guess that was their original name, became Marvel Comics and started the 60s bullpen, which is like if you go back and read 60s Marvel Comics, you will see just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. It doesn't stop. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of content they were churning out that would become like genuinely super famous was insane. But because simple primary colors were cheaper to print for ink, they would do things like red and blue and yellow, the primary colors, mean good guy. Green and purple mean bad guy. And that's it. And if you look back at like Superman, you'll see that a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of his villains are green and purple, and a lot of the heroes are red and blue and yellow.
You'll also see that a lot in like outside of Marvel too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like Superman's DC and stuff, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking like through like different comics properties.
Oh god, I just actually do. I feel fucking awful. Actually Superman.
How dare you?
I'm an insufferable creature. Why do you think I'm a goblin? This is literally what you should expect of me. So,
Bruiserker, I accidentally read your comment as old Tracy Dick, and I
old Tracy Dick.
I just kind of lost it. Yeah, Dick Tracy has that color scheme too.
Yeah, it's super popular when it comes to older comic books. Now, not so much. I mean, gone are the days of newsprint pulp and like simple primary color costumes outside of like legacy editions and stuff. A lot of them get more complicated.
Okay. I have a question for you though.
Oh, do fire away. I have an
Uh,
answer.
Magneto or
Yes.
Charles Xavier?
Oh, okay. So this is actually, in my defense, Your Honor, my client is a Holocaust survivor, a father, a single father. He has tried so hard over the years. Actually, I am a big believer in both of them being stubborn old assholes who refuse to learn from the information in front of them, with the exception of Magneto actually breaking that trend. Like, Charles's entire ideal of peaceful coexistence through only peaceful protest is rightfully pointed out as hypocritical for Magneto when you point out the X-Men, the giant fighter jet he keeps under his school, the danger room that is designed to train you to murder giant robots. It's kind like Senator Kelly develops giant Terminator death robots to track down and kill innocent children who happen to be mutants. Magneto's got a fucking point. But on the other side, Magneto becomes the very thing he hates. He becomes a supremacist. He falls towards fascism out of his hatred and actively seeks the destruction of humanity for the longest time. But then he has a very interesting set of redemption arcs. Like when he founded Genosha, which was a country meant to be a safe haven for mutants alone. Like it was basically, look, I'm not trying to be creepy about this, but if you're a mutant, come to my country, I give you sovereignty. And the rest of the world, literally leave us alone, please. And he basically told all the mutants coming there, like, you can come in and leave as many times as you want. But humans, no. No, because you keep fucking things up and you keep killing us. And for a while, Magneto was happy. And then a bunch of Sentinels got up, came over there, and killed literally everybody they could.
Yeah.
Laid the entire country to waste. And then Magneto pulled an asteroid out of Jupiter's asteroid belt, parked it in Earth's orbit, called it Asteroid M, and sat up there contemplating a lot. People underestimate how strong Magneto is. The movies don't do him justice.
Yeah.
Because like when they say master of magnetism, they don't mean master of ferromagnetic nonsense. He is, at any point, he could stop the Earth's rotation.
Yeah.
Just period. Just destroy the whole fucking planet. But okay, if like, as much as I want to say Magneto, I have to say Charles though, excluding modern Charles.
Boo!
Look, okay, there's a reason. There's a reason. It's because Magneto is deeply creepy as a person. No, wait, no, fuck Charles too, because he had that whole thing with Jean. No, Magneto, my boy,
also,
my boy Magneto.
Also, I feel like inherently Charles Xavier is way creepier given the nature of his powers.
Yeah, like, that's a little thing there.
Like, how can you trust anybody else that's around Charles Xavier at any time?
That's kind of the point of like Charles having those powers too, though, is because it's like he can at any point change your memories, change your mind, change how you think, change what you do. And the whole thing he's saying is like, look, there are other people like me. There are other people who can do what I can do. You need to trust that we're not going to do that. We are not living weapons. We are a different type of person, and that is all.
Yeah,
and like
but then he like builds an entire school around training children to be weapons.
Well, that's where there's actually a popular misconception, because the X-Men aren't like the point of the school. Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters is a normal school for the most part. Like the vast majority of it,
they just recruit from there.
Oh, they don't actually. Like a lot of people join the X-Men against his wishes. Like the only time I can think of where like okay, so the first class of the X-Men were very much a like it follows sort of in line with what Reed Richards was doing with the Fantastic Four. They're superheroes, right? Mm-hmm. They're teenage superheroes or young adult superheroes that are put together as a team to solve the world's problems, to show that mutant kind can use their abilities to save the world, right? To like use them for good, because it's that whole thing with great power, there must also come a great responsibility. You are born with great powers, some of them a curse, but if you use them responsibly for the benefit of the world, people won't be afraid of us. People will trust us. And that was what the first class was about. They were all basically like graduates of the school who were choosing of their own free will to join Charles Xavier's X-Men program. And then after that, he did recruit the all-new X-Men from a bunch of different adults from across the world. Like Storm, Colossus, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Warhawk, Sunfire, and I think that's everybody of the new X-Men were brought together after Krakoa, the living island, just ganked all of the OG X-Men except for Cyclops. And they were recruited because it was like, hey, you're strong adult mutants. Can you please help save my other strong adult mutants? They're in trouble. Superheroes, please. But like Jubilee joins when she's a teenager, and Charles is like, please fucking stop it. Please stop it. You're like 15. Stop it. But you know, it's comic books, so there is a level of unreality there where things just kind of happen. Oh, and also, if we're gonna accuse Charles of that, Magneto breaks into people's homes and is like, "You are a mutant. Come with me. Your parents suck dick," and he just magnetizes them away.
I mean, to be fair, most of the time he's right.
No, okay. I'm not
Their
arguing
parents
that.
do suck dick.
Yeah, no, very true. Very, very, very true. It's just it's a complicated kind of relationship for them to have.
Also, like I don't know, like in the movies, like his plan to turn the world's leaders into mutants, not a bad plan.
No, that was actually really genius.
Yeah,
I gotta give it to him there.
Yeah, you know what? It seems to me like the solution would just be like, yeah, we'll make everybody mutants. Then you guys got to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck discriminating against us, assholes.
Yeah, like the Brotherhood has a seriously large amount of good ideas. I agree with him. Like honestly, like I agree with his principle against fascists. Fascists only speak the language of violence, and unfortunately, sometimes that is the only way you can reason against them. Like, that is, like, when they're actively attacking you and your people, sometimes you gotta defend yourselves. That's just, like, a reality of human history. But I also agree with Charles's proactive attempt to make peace through, like, diplomatic means. Between the two of them, there's a really good plan in there, but neither of them will give an inch. Because they're angry, grumpy old men who play chess and just need to kiss. They just need to kiss. I want those old men to kiss their lips.
It's
right
true.
in the mouth.
It's true. Also, Magneto would have killed Charles Xavier when he like went crazy with Alzheimer's, and saved the world a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh god, that hurts so bad. Like Logan is such a good adaptation of the old man Logan story, and also Magneto was right. Yeah, no, sorry, Magneto was right. In the Marvel universe, Magneto was proven right to the point where in the current run, Xavier just agrees with him. Period. Like genuinely, that's what's going on right now. Xavier is just like, no, you were right. We're doing this, and like fucking fixing things. Although
yeah.
I have a lot of strong opinions about certain X-Men. Cyclops is a fucking asshole.
Cyclops is bad. Cyclops
yes.
is always bad, and Jean Grey deserves way better.
Yes, she does. I think the best way to fix Cyclops would be to make him a himbo.
That's true. The best way to fix Cyclops would be to make him a himbo and not like the default leader.
Actually, I think he should be the default leader of the X-Men, but only like I have this. Me and my friends talk about like ways to do X-Men in movies and stuff because we're like that and we have the same brain disease. But like my idea behind Cyclops being a character is that like he was almost cool enough to be one of those like varsity football dudes, but because of his mutation, he was considered a freak by them, so they kicked him out. So he's like charming and charismatic and a total like sweetheart himbo cinnamon bun. But the outcast kids see him as like too cool, so he gets kicked out of them too, so he's got nowhere to go. But when he finds the X-Men school, he fits right in with everybody, and he's this natural like you know, he's like a natural leader type. Because I have friends who were like on football teams who were just really nice to everybody, and I always thought it'd be cool if Cyclops was just like, I'm friends with everybody, even if that means I'm a naive dickhead sometimes. I think it makes him a good character.
Yeah. I don't think being a himbo makes someone a bad character.
Oh, no, not at all. I think himbos are good. I like himbos. They're good. They're nice.
They
are.
Okay, so I'm glad we agree Magneto was right.
Yes. I can't deny that.
And also, Charles Xavier should probably be charged with crimes at some point. But
oh, yes.
Like a lot of crimes. Like so many crimes.
Yes. I mean, if Magneto goes on trial against human rights violations, Charles needs like fucking brought to the Hague. Things needs to go down.
Like,
My God.
like, how do you even charge someone who like has technically like thousands of times over done something like almost something arguably worse than murder, just like wiping people's brains
Mm-hmm.
and identities. Like,
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like the only time I think he's done that like ethically is when he was asked to by Wolverine.
yeah.
Like when Logan first joined the X-Men in the comics, he was like, "Hey, Chuck, my life fucking sucks, my dude. I want a clean slate, please." And he was like, "I'll give that to you. You want to join the X-Men, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll just clean slate. You get a full fresh start, my dude.
Yeah,
Whatever you say."
yeah. Like, I don't know. Wolverine's had a rough go of it.
Yeah,
My
if
my
anyone
man.
has the right to forget some stuff, maybe it's Jimmy Howlett.
Yeah. Um, do we really want to go down the slippery slope of whom among the X-Men should be charged with crimes? A lot of
Oh,
them, except for Gambit
yes.
and
What?
and
What?
Nightcrawler.
No, Gambit has done so many crimes. He's done so many crimes. That's
but
like his
he's
whole
but he's
thing.
so cool. He should get away with it based on aesthetics alone.
That's bullshit. That's such bullshit. I yes, Gambit has committed mass murder. He's killed. He's extorted. He's done so many terrible things.
Wait, which X-Men hasn't done mass murder at this point?
Kitty Pryde, Colossus, like most of them. God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Do you have another question or anything?
No. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know what your stance was on mutant civil rights.
They need them, all of them, forever. Please make the madness stop. I think we should kill Senator Kelly.
Honestly,
Just shoot him into space.
there are, like if the U.S. government can be justified doing like destabilizing missions, I feel like mutants should get a few gimmies. Okay.
They can break into the White House every now and again. It's fine. Okay. Here's another question. Here's a question.
Wait.
Relating to super. Oh,
Wait.
yes.
Are there any mainstream superheroes that have not done mass murder?
Most of them, actually.
Yeah, like I know Superman has.
What?
Like Superman's definitely done like mass murders in the comics.
Some version, like evil versions of Superman, but mainline Superman doesn't do any mass murders.
That's true, but I'm talking like there are versions of Superman that like kill everybody.
Well, if we're gonna go into the multiverse stuff here, yeah, no. If we're gonna go into versions of characters that have killed everybody, everybody's killed everybody. There was a mini series that Marvel would produce every now and again called like first it started with like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, where Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And then one for Punisher. Then one for I think Wolverine. There's been a version of every character who has killed literally everybody. Even Spider-Man. There's hell in Marvel Zombies they wipe the entire universe clean. They eat everybody.
It's true.
What is your opinion on the current Superman movies?
Like the Zack Snyder Superman movies?
Yes.
I liked the first one. I own a fan edit of it though that reorganizes it and makes it slightly better.
Please send that to me. I want to like that movie, but I can't.
It's really like I like the depiction of like Superman fighting another superpowered person. I feel like that's close to how it would go if that happened in real life. And
yeah.
like I'm okay with that sort of the depiction. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I just want to know what it's called. But I really, from the bottom of my heart, despise Batman v Superman. I hate it.
Thank you.
I hate it
Thank
so
you.
much. I went and watched it in the movie theater and was just like, what is this actual shit?
I did the same thing. The other day I went on a very long rant about why I think that is one of the worst movies ever made, if not for me, the worst movie ever made.
It is it borders on incomprehensible sometimes.
True.
It like it the meaning of it is like just nonsense. Like it's twisted around to the point of nonsense. It's stupid on almost every single point of every character that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. To me, it's a full violation of every fundamental thing that makes those characters good, and it is an absolute spit in the face of what could have been easily one of the best movies ever made. And I stand by that. I stand by that because Batman fighting Superman isn't two people fighting each other who just are superheroes. It is two fundamentally opposed ideologies about how justice works coming to blows through the form of two characters who are normally die-hard best friends.
Yeah.
Like I have many words to say about a lot of that. Like also seeing a lot of Batman kills, but he doesn't murder. Batman doesn't kill. He murders people off panel. How dare you? Batman doesn't kill. I don't care about the times when he did. Those don't count. Those aren't real Batman moments. The only Batman who I care about in live action for sure, Robert Pattinson and Adam West. They're the only ones. Oh god, so many Batman have killed people in live action. Actually, come to think of it, the only three I know of that have never killed anybody in live action are nope, Adam West accidentally killed two people. Yeah, Adam West. Yeah, they accidentally killed two people in the movie. So it comes down to George Clooney and Robert Pattinson.
Oh god.
So.
Also, if you're looking for fan edits of movies, there's a website called fanedit.org where you can learn about different edits of movies, and you'll occasionally find really good ones. I have the Star Wars despecialized movies.
Ooh, I heard about this. I wanted to watch those.
Yeah, they like rip the highest quality like original releases without like the George Lucas like CGI shit.
Yeah.
And it's great. You know, you get your Return of the Jedi with the Force ghosts of like actual Anakin Skywalker at the age he was when he died, you know.
Yeah.
Not Hayden Christensen for some inexplicable reason.
I know the lore reason behind it, but the lore reason is stupid.
The lore reason is stupid as hell. Also, you get the entire you get the entirety of there's a version of the prequel movies called Star Wars Downfall of the Old Republic. Which just edits all three of them into one movie.
That's what I want.
And it's 2.5 hours, but you know what? That's way better than watching 3 films.
The only movie in the prequels I will maintain is actually a good movie, like an above average movie, as far as I'm concerned. And this doesn't mean it's like great, just like it's like a 6 for me, a 6 out of 10 is Revenge of the Sith. It just, I like it. I like it. Everything about watching Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship turn to dust. It's mostly because
okay. You know what? Maybe this is a hot take. I don't love. How do I put this? I like if it didn't have the Star Wars name attached to it, it would be remembered fondly as like a cult classic, like sci-fi film, and that's the Phantom Menace. Like it's bad, but like if you took Star Wars out of it and just like went in expecting like, oh, what's this fun little sci-fi movie? Like it'd be like, holy shit, yeah, like there was that weird character throughout all of it, but like, oh shit, there's some cool stuff in there.
I kind of feel that. Like I even feel that way about it as a Star Wars movie, you know?
Yeah,
Like Duel of the Fates is still one of the best lightsaber fights I've ever seen in my life.
it's so
And
fucking good.
it's fucking. Did you know that the little bounce that Obi-Wan does when he's behind the laser thing wasn't scripted? Like Ewan McGregor was just really excited to fight. He was just like, yeah, I want to go. It's fucking amazing.
I love Ewan McGregor.
So do I. He's so fucking good in
Um,
everything.
he's really good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mashing down all three of those movies into one makes a lot of sense. And there's also for people out there who need a I don't know, like a way to watch the Hobbit movies that is comprehensible and far less infuriating. There's a cut of it called The Hobbit, the Tolkien edit, and
Mm-hmm.
it edits all three movies into one 4-hour movie.
That actually sounds better all the way. Like I for me that like what could have been is always hanging over the back of my head because the original pass of it was like 2 movies because like it's going like the whole idea was there and back again, like the title of the book and the thing, and it was going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro. It was
Yep.
going to have a more fantasy budget, or more fantasy art direction, and it was going to be a story about him, going. It was going to end at him getting to the Lonely Mountain, and the second movie was going to be everything up to him coming back. And to my knowledge, the ending shot was going to be Elijah Wood closing the book to there and back again, and hearing Bilbo call him for his 11th birthday at the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring.
Aw.
So in canon, it would have been him reading the book and just finishing it that day, which
would have been great.
yeah, that would explain why it's more fantasy, like why it's a different style, because it's just Bilbo happens to write like that.
Yeah.
Because in fucking canon, he embellishes stuff. He's a goofy little hobbit man. He's not going to tell the truth all the damn time.
He's a goofy little guy.
I love Bilbo Baggins. I love The Hobbit.
Like
should be required in all schools.
The goofy little guys. No, yeah, they in this edit they cut out a lot of the excess stuff. Like they cut out Legolas almost entirely. They cut out Azog the Defiler, like, and it's real good. Like, it functions as like its own little thing. They also cut out all of the stuff with Gandalf.
Good.
And it just works so much better as a film, and it's I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that people do with editing. And it's neat to see, and it makes my brain that's like obsessed with those stories like pleased and happy.
Same. The whole idea of this makes me a lot fucking happier. I need it.
Yeah,
I need it.
I watched it recently, and it's like the way to watch those movies, really. Like, there's still gonna be stuff that's like not great, but like it makes it becomes a lot more coherent without all the extra shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that anyone could save Batman v Superman. To bring it back to the question, like that movie is a steaming hot pile of shit.
Like, okay, so I've had a lot of time to think about this movie because me and a friend of mine, we first met and became like best friends over hating that movie. That's one good thing that came out of it. And I think that if you replaced all of the characters with Charleston Comics characters and went from there, it would actually just kind of work. You would just need to not have Batman and Superman. Like if it was like The Question, Captain Atom, and I don't know, like no, if it was Captain Atom and like the Blue Beetle, or no, the question will work better,
Hmm.
and like instead of having fucking Doomsday at the end, you have Major Force. Like it would work better because none of the characters act like who they are anyway. So you might as well just switch it up entirely and go with a bunch of like D-listers that people don't really care about. Which, I mean, I don't mean to be rude about the question. I know all five question fans in the audience are very sad right now, myself, but still.
Question:
Mm,
Did you watch Swamp Thing?
yes, I watched the first episode at least because I thought at the time that that was the only thing I had. And
Hello?
hello?
Oh, you cut out.
Oh, sorry. I we're good. We're good.
Okay.
I see my little green thing flashing. Okay. I watched the first episode of Swamp Thing because at the time I was told that it was canceled and that that was the only episode that was available. I didn't know that there was a full like season. I want to watch all of it, but that first episode was fucking amazing.
Um, it kind of has a lot of that going on. I'm really sad we didn't get more seasons of that show because
Mm-hmm.
it gets real fucking weird real quick and like in the best way. I think of the two
Oh yeah,
universes, like DC has the weirdest shit.
it really can. Like it's because of the British Revolution that happened. Um, like in I'm pretty sure it was the 80s. I mean, I'm looking up like things to back up my claim. Um, but like a bunch of writers from the UK came over, including Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman, and that revitalized DC Comics in like an insane way. Like Moore, cynical hobo wizard that he is, can write a damn good story,
Yeah.
and Gaiman is a fucking master of writing weird stuff in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And Alan Moore's Swamp Thing is just one of the best reads you will ever have in your life. It's so cool. Oh, Grant Morrison as well. Bringing it back to Superman, Grant Morrison, the greatest Superman writer who has ever lived. Um, I love him. If you've never read All Star Superman, go read it.
All
It is,
Star
it
Superman is
is,
great.
it's so good. Recently, he started working because like Morrison was trying to retire basically, and the Superman and the Authority comic was getting started, and the original run of it was going to be Superman breaks bad and takes a bunch of supervillains to like do a bunch of heroism across the universe, and he becomes sort of an authoritarian kind of guy as he gets dragged down this dark path. And Morrison was like, "No, fuck you, fuck that. I'm writing this comic book." Came in and was like, "No, I'm making Superman good again," and he did. He basically made it like Superman, good Paragon dad character, decides all these supervillains, they could be superheroes. I believe in them. So he busts them out of jail and takes them on cool space adventures. Like, how do you not love that? Fucking delightful, delicious.
Indeed.
Also, having a Phantom Stranger call out at the end of that first episode,
Yep.
I that is so bizarre to me that they went there. I love it.
Yep.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would. You can, but fuck.
I really wish that show had gotten a second season.
Same. I mean, the Warner Brothers is seemingly intent on just spiraling into oblivion. So let's hope. I guess James Gunn can do some saving. I hope something.
I bet James Gunn revitalizes Swamp Thing. That just seems like something he'd do.
He recently posted a picture of Swamp Thing like climbing out of the ground on Twitter, and that's how he's been announcing projects, hinting at them. So
Excellent.
Swamp Thing, let's go.
And
Oh,
like
Frank Miller's.
the Swamp Thing the TV series only came out in 2019. They might bring it back.
Yeah, it'd be fucking amazing if they did. They really should.
They should.
Like let me come up with a question for you. I know I've got one in here. I'm having that moment where it's name your favorite song. Oh wait, what's music? I've never heard music before. I've never heard bands. That doesn't exist.
Well, I'll give you a chance to think of a question while I go get some more water.
Okay. I guess. Oh
BRB
God.
chat, behave.
It's my stream now. It's not. Silence me. So, think. Oh, Cuttlefish. Are you familiar with the books of magic miniseries from the 1980s? I'm not. I'm not. I would like to be, though. I would like to be. If you find a way for me to check it out, go ahead and shoot me a DM for it. I'm thinking. I'm using my little brain. It's happening. It's working. Oh God, I've been left alone with Chair. I like Chair. Chair makes me happy. I don't read comics or like superhero movies at all, but I'm loving this conversation. Thank you. Thank you. I'm loving it too. This is an awesome talk. I'm very excited that we got to do this. Jack is really cool, and I appreciate her bringing me on. Do you have any questions for me while I'm here? All y'all people are you talk. You have questions. If you have a question to ask, go ahead and ask. I can answer it. More Moon Knight Disney. Yes, I would like more Moon Knight, but that being said, I would like more Moon Knight in the direction of like the general comics. Oh, okay. Who would win in the fight, Goku or Superman? Superman. And it's not even. Sorry, it's not even hard. It's so easy. Like straight up, Superman would clap Goku so hard it would break every window in a 20-mile radius. Because okay, look. Goku is a character. This isn't a comment about how good they are as characters. Okay, it's not. Goku is a character defined by his limits and how he breaks them. Superman is defined as a character, or defined by as a character who has no limits and what he does with his power. Superman is clapping Goku. You damn right. Although I will say that like they would, yeah, Berserker got it exactly right. They would spar and be friends. In a real, if they actually ever met, Goku would be like, "You're pretty strong. Let's have a fight." And Superman would be like, "I don't know, son. I'm not one much throwing down." And Goku would be like, "Come on, let's give it a shot." And then they'd fight. And then Superman would slowly realize, "Oh my God, this guy can actually take me at my strongest." And Goku would realize, "Oh my God, this guy's a lot stronger than me." And then Goku would have the best sparring partner, but like possible. So it would basically turn into this endless recursive loop of Goku and Superman going at it, where Superman gets to let loose more and more and more. Goku gets stronger and stronger and stronger until they eventually just go eat a bunch of food together and they have a great time. And I don't know, they like it would be great. Although Chi-Chi and Lois would hate each other because Chi-Chi is written to be forgettable and kind of awful because Toriyama forgot that she was a character and kind of hates writing her because he doesn't like how he doesn't like her, so he tries to put her away, which I hate personally. He can be a buzzkill. Welcome back, Jack.
Hello.
Chi-Chi would hate Chi-Chi would crush on Superman so hard. Also, most cringe comic book moment ever. Okay, I have one for this. This moment will haunt me for the rest of my life because of a lot of reasons. Jack, are you capable of putting a picture up on screen?
I am.
Because this is a visual reference. I didn't hear what you said.
I am.
Okay. So, thank you very much, by the way.
No problem.
During the original Sin storyline, and I will never understand why they did, they decided that Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn were having
your audio is cutting in and out.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna give it a second.
Chi-Chi would love Superman because he's not an overgrown man-child. Yeah.
That's true. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
And Superman is responsible.
True.
And can hold down a job.
Goku has a job. He's a radish farmer.
I don't think Chi-Chi's down with that.
Chi-Chi's the one who made him a radish farmer.
I think that they need to save up to send Gohan to college.
They do.
And they need to do a little bit better than radishes.
Well, technically, they don't have to work at all because Chi-Chi's father is the Ox King.
That's true.
Like, she has Goku work just because she wants him to work.
I forgot Chi-Chi's daughter of royalty.
Yep. Oh, okay, and the thing.
Why do you
So
hate radishes? Because they're awful, disgusting
radishes are
creatures.
delicious. Have you ever had pickled
Disgusting
radishes?
creatures.
Pickled radishes, they're so good.
Not my
Oh, and the
thing.
cursed thing I sent you, now that my audio is a little... During the original Sin storyline, it was revealed that Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, were having an affair. And I cannot tell you how much in my bones I hate this entire comic panel and entire idea, especially because, and I still to this day cannot figure out who made this decision or why this happens. But I want you to look real close at Norman Osborn there, and I want you to explain to me, why does he look like Tommy Lee Jones? I I I don't understand who thought this was a good idea. Because remember, this is when Gwen Stacy is 17 and Norman is in his 40s.
Yeah.
And they canonically have 2 children that grow up super fast because of goblin DNA. And again,
That's
for some
sussy as
reason,
hell.
he looks like Tommy Lee Jones.
It's sussy as hell.
It is one of the... Oh, I'm sorry. This is close second. I just remembered something I've tried to block out, which is probably the single worst moment in Avengers comic books I can possibly imagine. So Eros, Thanos' brother, I think it was Eros, or it was Star Fox, not the furry, the other one. Or is that the same person? I can never remember. I'm not a huge fan of Eros or Star Fox. But basically, this dude whose power is to
Wait, you're not a fan
make
of
people...
Star Fox?
No. Star Fox, the Marvel character. Star Fox, the game, is awesome.
No relation between the two, I take it?
Oh, no, sorry. Star Fox is Eros. Yeah, okay, that's a superhero name.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. But basically, what went down is Ms. Marvel was a member of the Avengers.
Wait.
And this dude is... Yeah.
Wait, real quick. Star Fox kind of foxy, though.
Star Fox? Yeah, like... he is.
I'm seeing where he's getting the name from.
He's Thanos' brother.
Damn.
He's Thanos' brother.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but we'll move past that.
Thanos would have looked just like him if he didn't have the deviant gene in his DNA. Not kidding. That's an actual thing. Okay. Like, Thanos looks the way he does because he has a gene that makes him all purple and like that. Huh. But yeah, Star Fox, like, outside of this story, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened, but this is what happened between the two of them. I'm just double checking really quick because I try not to think about this moment because I fucking hate it. Basically, the character is talking to Miss Marvel, or, Captain Marvel now. At the time, she was Miss Marvel. Carol Danvers, and the dude has the power to make people fall in love with him.
Cool.
Which is not consensual.
Yep.
It's brainwashing.
Of course.
Like, in canon, it's brainwashing. And he brainwashes her into falling in love with him. And then the Avengers are like, oh, they're so in love. You go off to your weird dimension and have a good time. They have sex, and she becomes pregnant before this happens. Oh yeah,
why is there so much of this in comics?
All of the worst decisions in comic books come down to things like this. And it's also because of people writing from the perspective of like maladjusted 14-year-olds, and I hate it. But basically, they have sex and she gets pregnant, and the dimension that they go to has different times, so she has the entire pregnancy's birth. But when she gives birth, she comes back with the baby from this other dimension, and the Avengers are like, oh, you're together. And then the baby hyper grows up into the guy, and it turns out he is his own father and she's mother, and he seduced his own mother to give birth to himself, and then he fucks off and he's like, fuck you all, I'm made now. And then Carol snaps out of it and goes, all of you on the Avengers are god awful and I fucking hate you. And all of them are like, what did we do? And Carol's like, what didn't you do? What didn't you do just now? Did you seen the last 9 months of... I was in the sunken place, fucker. I saw all of this go down. And oh boy, that's a thing. And it's like they this is one of those things. Marvel has never had a proper reboot ever. They have never rebooted. So technically this has still happened, but it's retconned away where it's like this has never happened because it's never spoken of.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk to me about the most cringe moment in comic books. Here we go. Oh, there's also Marvel editorial killing off Mayday Parker because of stupid decisions with Spider-Man, which I will never forgive because Mayday Parker is one of the best superheroes who has ever existed. It's Peter and MJ's daughter. She's awesome, and I love her. And she's gonna be in the new Spider-Verse movie. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You have no idea. Let me think. Okay, I think I have a question.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay. So, which member of the Avengers do you think, excluding Captain America, should lead the team?
Okay, but question.
Yes.
Okay, I was having this conversation the other day, and it was very, very troubling to me. How does time travel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How does their time travel work?
Okay, I can actually answer this pretty easy.
Okay, yeah, go for it. And then I'll follow that up.
Okay, so how their time travel functions is any change inside of a timeline branches off into a new existence in the multiverse. The multiverse is any deviation from any timeline. So you flip a coin, in your dimension, it's heads. In the alternate dimension that exists at the fork and that plausibility, it is tails. But it even goes down to more minutia than that. Because it is infinite, every different fluctuation of like a quark or an axiom creates another universe. And that goes on for eternity. So when you travel back in time, you are traveling into an alternate timeline at all given times. In like Endgame, when they're doing the time heist, they're in another version of their own reality that is now different because they are there.
Okay. So
and in
that answers my question enough. So when Steve Rogers goes back in time to return the Infinity Gems, he's branching off into another reality when he chooses to stay in the past.
Yeah. So basically, that timeline, the original Steve from that timeline is frozen in the ice and will reawaken for the Avengers then. But Steve is taking his, like, he's putting down his shield and actually living his life with her in secrecy for the period. And he presumably is he comes back to the main timeline at the end of all that.
So at the end of all of that, he like uses the time stone again to like skip into the correct timeline?
Oh no, he uses the Pym particles from the time machine that because the time stone isn't what they're using for the time travel.
But like when he's an old man in his universe, he skips back to his original universe.
Yeah.
And then gives like his friends the shield?
Yeah, exactly.
And then just kind of fucks off, I guess, again.
We don't know what Steve did. It is presumed that he dies soon after. There's some jokes about him being on the moon, like him just going out there watching. But presumably, he just actually dies off screen, or he goes to retire in like a cabin because, to my knowledge, he lives out that timeline until the point where Peggy dies in the original timeline.
Yeah.
So his version of Captain America is awake and running around, and then when Peggy dies, he leaves. I have a theory about that
Oh,
timeline. I
wait,
think
wait.
that's the best timeline, but
Oh, okay. So he lived with Peggy in that other timeline. So presumably he was probably still doing Steve Rogery things, like, showing up to like protest Vietnam, or
yeah.
doing participating in the civil rights. And it's not just like he was just quietly living with Peggy the entire time, and that just
Oh
never
no,
showed up in the original Marvel Cinematic Universe that we saw.
yeah, no, I actually my full theory about this,
Okay.
and this just runs in line with this character. I think he retired from being Captain America, and like, I am not doing Captain America stuff anymore unless they need me. And I think that some of the first orders of business were like, I know where Bucky is. Like,
Okay.
I know where he is right now. I know where the Tesseract is. I know about Thanos. I think that he told as many people as possible
Okay.
about these kinds of things. And I have I'm of two minds on this. Have you seen Multiverse of Madness?
I have. Yeah.
I think that the universe where Steve went turns into either A, the universe with the Illuminati, because that would make sense because the secret organization that knows forbidden knowledge about how to affect the entirety of the would totally spout into existence around the multiverse if a dude from the multiverse was like, hey, look, bud, there's some shit going down. And I love the idea that like his involvement spiraled it into this other timeline because it would create something like that, I think. Or something similar happened and his version of the Avengers starts off like right when he gets there, and he basically tells Shield, look, Hydra is going to infect Shield at some point. You need to find this guy named you need to find Sam Jackson, bring him in. That dude's going to be awesome. He probably warns Bruce Banner about the Hulk. Like I would imagine that Steve would do the right thing in any scenario he gets,
Hmm.
because it's not like telling people the good things or warning them about stuff would stop anything or like be against his retirement. He's probably just sitting there being like, hey, sup, here are some issues that you need to be aware of. And he would definitely tell them about Thanos.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, yeah, it was Nick Fury. I just wanted to call him Sam Jackson. Even the Ultimate Universe acknowledges Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Because that version of Nick Fury was based on him so strong that in the comics they almost got sued.
Yeah. I was having this conversation with my partner, and like it. I had never thought about like how that how time travel worked. Usually, when time travel's in a movie, I try not to overthink it because it's just like it breaks everything. But like, yeah, it actually provide it actually like if it worked, like Steve Rogers was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline the entire time with Peggy, then like that is a major problem and a flaw for his character, that like
Yeah,
he wasn't out there doing shit.
yeah. Especially now that we know about Isaiah Bradley's involvement. Like,
Yeah.
by the way, if you've never read Red, White, and Black, go the original Isaiah Bradley story. It's so fun. But have you seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I watched the first few episodes, and then I fell off of it a little bit.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I kind of spoiled the characters. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Do you
I
mind if I talk about them a little bit? Because I think you'll
No,
like them.
no, go for it. My thing is like I don't really care that much about spoilers, because if something is good, it's gonna be good whether or not it's spoiled.
That's fair. So basically, remember how in the first Avenger they took a bunch of vials of Steve's blood because they were like,
Yes.
"You're one super soldier. We're going to try to recreate this." Well, they do, and in Red, White, and Black, the comic book, they do that. They try to recreate the super soldier, and I'm trying to remember the name. Like, basically, they based it around the Tuskegee Airmen, the all black airman regiment from World War II. And I'm trying to remember the name of the experiment that was done. It's a really fucked thing the U.S. government did. They injected a bunch of black men with syphilis and herpes without their knowledge or consent to test what would happen to them. Um, I cannot remember the name of the experiment, but it is, another in the long storied history of Nightmare Country doing nightmare things to innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Tuskegee syphilis study. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Mint. Um, and In the story, they injected a bunch of soldiers in Vietnam with the super soldier serum they derived from Steve's blood, which killed most of them. The only one it worked on was Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley became a super soldier. He is a Captain America. And he, in the story, has a battalion of his fellow soldiers, same experiment, captured behind enemy lines, and the people in command are like, we're just gonna have to firebomb it. We're gonna take out that spot because we know bad guys are there, casualties of war. Exactly what Steve Rogers was told back in World War II. The thing he was told that sparked Captain America. And Bradley does the same thing. He steals a Captain America outfit, picks up a shield, puts on a helmet, and saves the fucking day. He brings back the entire battalion of soldiers, not losing a single person, capturing everybody involved, and saving the fucking day. And they put him in prison for 50 years for it.
Sounds about
White.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the story is about that. And it's about, like, after he did this, they used him on a bunch of stuff. Like, they used him in a bunch of experiments, used him in a bunch of battles. And every other member of that battalion dies because of the experiments done on them. And no one really knew why except for Isaiah Bradley. And Bradley is this storied character who kind of, like, everybody in, like, the black community of superheroes kind of knows who he is and has respect for him because they know you were one of the first. You were, like, he leaves this legend behind. It's such a good book, and he's in the fucking movie or the series, and it's fucking awesome. I'm gonna send you a link to the thing. I highly recommend this book. It's very, very good. And it's sad and it's poignant and it's the kind of thing that superhero stories are for. Yeah, it's called Truth, Red, White, and Black.
Okay.
It's a whole. I think that's the omnibus one, or it's gonna be it's the thing that has all of the issues of it. Yeah, please read that. It's great. I really like superheroes for a lot of these. Actually, the original version of this talk was about, how Superman is an inherently anti-fascist character and superheroes are inherently anti-fascist ideals personified in order to upturn the status quo for a brighter and better tomorrow, and how fascists have co-opted them to fight for a fascist status quo and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
like the Punisher.
Yeah, it'd be real nice. It'd be real nice if media literacy were taught more intently in the United States.
Oh my god, yes.
It'd be so nice. What I wouldn't give,
I know how you feel.
Like I have a degree in English literature, so like I get it a bit more. But like even so, like if I had just been like going through high school, I had like one class on like media literacy in middle school. And like I feel like that class did such a service to me, and most people going through school never even get that mentioned to them.
Oh yeah, like I was lucky enough that my it was banned technically, but they had it in my library because my high school librarian was pretty based. They had a copy of Mouse by Art Spiegelman.
Yeah.
And like she's the one who told me about how basically gave me an idea behind media literacy and was like, hey, that's how this works. Think about this thing. I was lucky enough to get some of that, but I mean the general like idea in my schooling was don't get your brain poisoned by English class. Sometimes a blue curtain is just a blue curtain. I don't know if you ever heard that term thrown around or anything.
What does that mean?
Oh, there's this whole meme that used to go around on like fucking the internet and stuff. So at English major, why was the curtain blue? Blue was chosen because the author wanted to set a depressing tone for the scene and thought that blue would be the most appropriate color. And because of that, that's why it wafts and throughout the room every now and again on a breeze. And then the other person, a person who thinks like a normal person, it's blue because the author liked the color blue. And it's just like either of these can be true, but the intent of the author kind of matters here. And media literacy is about deciding which one of those things is.
Well, yeah, it's about like because I don't think it's I don't think it is irrelevant what authorial intent is, you know.
Same.
But I also don't I also don't think that it is the defining aspect of like a creation, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
like the idea that art is what happens when you have like kind of this communication between like artist and the audience, you know, and it
Yeah.
clashes together, and it, you know, no communication is ever going to be 100% perfect, and that's kind of what makes it beautiful and wonderful and weird. You know, when we really get down to brass tacks, we're like two creatures like flapping our lips at each other and like wiggling our vocal cords and like making sounds, and like the fact that we can pull meaning out of that at all is kind of like a miraculous thing, and
Oh yeah.
in and of itself. And the fact that like we can even approximate the same sort of meaning is even more incredible. And
100% agree.
And when we apply that to art, I think that perspective makes it a lot more magical, and a lot we can get a lot more out of it, while also bearing in mind that like the context of a object's creation matters quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm on the same mind there. Like for me, half of how I judge intent, like the intent and execution of that intent, you know, like for better or worse. Like great example is like The Room. The intent was to make a psychosexual mellow. The execution was one of the greatest comedies I've seen in my life. And like, it's a fascinating piece of art. Is it good art? That depends on the person. Is it amazing to watch? That's what I care about.
I definitely have cancer.
Anyway, that was your day.
Like, everyone's out to get me.
Lisa.
Everyone's out to get me. I definitely have cancer.
Yeah, Prescott. There's just never. Okay, there's a moment in that. I cannot stress this enough. There's a moment in the movie, and I don't think enough people know about this because it never gets memed on enough. Near the end of the movie, okay, when not Mark, when Lisa and what's the other guy's name again?
Is it Brad?
Let's go with Brad. Let's go with Brad. When Lisa and Brad are making out on the couch and fucking at fucking Johnny's. Oh, it's
no,
Mark. It's Mark.
Mark and Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark and Johnny. Yeah. So when Mark and Lisa are making out on the couch and like borderline fucking at Johnny's party for like his new promotion or whatever the fuck, some guy walks into the room and he's like, "How could you do this to Johnny? What are you?" And it's just some guy. He's never mentioned anywhere else. He's just a guy who just shows up and he like states the plot at them, and then he fucking vanishes into the ether, and they never address him. It's the best thing. Oh my! Plus, the one door in the room leads to everywhere else in the entire world, apparently.
Excellent.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. Oh my god, I love that movie so much.
It's a gem.
Now that I'm in Vegas, I'm going to one of the midnight showings. Like, I have to.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Does that count as doxing myself? That I'm like Vegas gutter trash?
Nah, I think it's
okay.
Fine.
That's fair.
People know I live in Minneapolis. Like, it's fine.
It's fine. That place doesn't exist.
It's nice.
Minneapolis. Why isn't there a large Apollos?
Boo.
Ah.
Boo.
Full on Joker-fied. Full on Joker.
Minneapolis. What about mini oranges?
Oh no. Minneapolis. I barely know her.
It's like comparing mini apples to mini oranges. Unfollowing, you know, honestly fair.
I feel like that was a completely valid. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to superhero media and how they are represented. I'm gonna take off the mustache really quick for this.
Go for it.
No, no, no. I'm an adult. We're leaving it on. So this is a very serious question about these very serious topics. I have to ask you. When it comes to modern superhero media, modern superhero characters,
Hmm.
who do you think best exemplifies the the sort of like base idea of overturning the status quo and bringing about a better tomorrow? Not like as a whole. Like I'm talking like individual piece of media. Like you could say like Peacemaker, you could say Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever. Like any even a comic book that you've read recently. What do you think like hits that the best?
Like overturning the status quo.
Yeah.
Um. Shit. Frankly, that's a hard one because a lot of the modern Marvel stuff is about, to my mind, maintaining status quo. Um, oh yeah, that's a good clarification, Gamer G. Overturning the status quo in a good way or a bad way.
In a good way specifically,
Okay.
because that's like the core of the superhero as an idea is meant to be like overturning the status quo and being anti-establishment in a good way. Like there's a reason all the superheroes are vigilantes.
Hmm. I recently saw Wakanda Forever. I've really liked how yet again it's asking kind of like pretty compelling questions about like colonialism and like the reckoning with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like it actually changed up much of the status quo per se. Um, with that one, there was a lot of potential for it, but it didn't really wind up moving in that direction.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna pull a U, and I'm going to just for a quick moment,
Mhm.
leave my body on an astral plane and go get a discount Trulies. I
Go
will be
for it.
right back. Okay.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna ghost.
Okay, I'll be here thinking. Um, uh, shit. Good night, Berserker. No spoilers on things. Okay. I'm trying to think. I know there's been something recently. Um, like there are also some of the weirder stuff that
Oh
I haven't
man,
seen yet.
I'm back.
Really, welcome back. Um, Not some of the weirder, but like some of the
Gripping it and ripping it.
nice. Um, I haven't seen the newest season, so I'm not sure about this one, but possibly The Boys. It seemed to be heading in a direction of like
Mhm.
overturning status quo. Um, Also possibly uh, the God, what is it? No. What is it? Cause like Jessica Jones, Punisher, like they're too low level to actually like affect change of status quo, like on a
I will
societal
mention this
level.
though, like as a thing with superhero like literature,
Mm-hmm.
which often gets overlooked in these kinds of like questions, and this is on me for not like um because they're so individual stories by like their nature, it can count for their personal life because like the whole point like Peter Parker's life isn't just meant to represent like your individual life or my individual life. It's a sort of microcosm of the world around you, because that was always a big thing with a lot of the writers for the OG superheroes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Parker's best friend being a snobby art snob rich kid who really just wants to not be trapped by his life as a rich kid and like live a happy life, is sort of the character stand-in for the yuppies that were around doing shit during like that time period that Peter was in. So like it even counts for their individual stuff. Like Jessica Jones's story definitely can represent a lot of what's going on with excuse me, let me go Joker mode here again. Or society. There we go. I had to sorry, it hurt me to say that. Full clown mode here.
I think that honestly, okay. Here are the other two in addition to the boys. All right. I think that there are a couple of stories and pieces of media that do a really good job of overturning superhero status quos. Possibly the boys haven't fully caught up with that, so I can't say for sure. But the first couple of seasons definitely indicated it was going in that direction. Then I would add Invincible.
Mm.
And I would add My Hero Academia.
I need to catch up on My Hero really bad. But those are really solid choices, especially on like a grand scale.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, like Invincible. I mean, no spoilerinos, but like Invincible season 1, because I didn't read the comic, is like just really excellent. Like it's great from start to finish.
They make some changes from the source material that actually benefit stuff too.
Excellent. And My Hero Academia, I mean, it's been around for a while, so I feel like I can talk about some of the earlier seasons, but like essentially is kind of an ongoing conversation about what a hero is and what it means to be a hero, and how that comes into conflict with a status quo that is built around profiting off of heroes, and how that status quo actively creates the villains and actively undermines society, undermines itself. And like I think that that's actually a pretty interesting thing and interesting way to go about it, because like even in like the first season or second season, there's an entire arc of the show around like a serial killer who hunts heroes specifically because he believes that they have strayed from the true path of heroic righteousness. And I find that like really fascinating, and like that is a conversation that evolves throughout the entire series as more and more conflicts emerge, and it's really, really great.
Yeah, no, I completely that's like My Hero gets not enough credit for being a piece of superhero media because it's in the anime medium.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the whole Stain arc kind of is this perfect little encapsulation. If I had to pick anything without spoilers, speaking obtusely about all of it, the whole Stain arc does such a good job of summing up like the thesis of the entire series.
Well, that and then after the Stain arc, you still see characters who are inspired by that ideology and make it their own, and like turn like it morphs and turns into like different schools of thought, and like different then there it comes into conflict with like different villainous schools of thought that emerge as well that are unrelated to it, and it's just real interesting and really at every turn it's challenging a status quo that from the very beginning you can see has enormous flaws in it.
God damn, every time, like, speaking of just like not even as a media analyzing thing, just as them understanding what makes a series about superheroes good. Deku being told you can be a hero too in that first episode. but second episode, right? Because it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
That moment sums it all up. That's like I actually use All Might as an example for people of what Superman is like in the comic books, and that moment sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. No, All Might is a great reinterpretation of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But
uh, just like he's kind of a dummy, but like he's got a good heart. He's got and you know that's not really fair to Superman because Superman isn't really a dummy. He's actually pretty insightful, but like All
yeah,
Might, kind of a dummy, but like really good insight on like other human beings and like a good judge of character and also like a lot of like experiential wisdom and like he has his philosophy as simplistic as it is and it's held up the entirety of like the society he's a part of.
mm-hmm. Like I think that the simplicity behind that ideal is one of the reasons it's so easy to pick apart, and one of the reasons it's so compelling too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a sort of saccharine kind of thing to all superhero media, and it's easy when you're a kid, you know. Good guys are good, bad guys are bad, and that's it. And as you get older, you see the world's more complicated. You end up running into much more nuanced things about what good and bad means. And then I think sometimes people forget that you can end up with just, no, this is a good decision, this is a bad decision in certain things.
Yeah.
Feeding a homeless dude, there's no nuance there. That's a good thing. You do that, that's a good thing to do. Um, like not hating someone for who they are as an individual, not hating trans people, that's a good decision. Don't hate trans people.
Pretty
We don't do
based.
anything yeah, exactly. Um, like there's this balancing act I think between the greatest forms of this genre, and Invincible really hits the nail on the head there because Mark has that simple stupid superhero ideal from a childhood at the cusp of being an adult and then jumping into that world, and like he is confronted with that reality, and it's so good. Like there's this scene from the old Justice League cartoon that has like one of those saccharine moments in it, and I wish that more things like this did this because it leads to a lot of consequences. So in season 3 of Justice League Unlimited, the league has the Watchtower, which is this floating space station that has a laser on it,
Mm-hmm.
like a hammer of dawn obliterating hyper laser pointed at the earth.
Cool.
Every one of the superheroes there are like, well, they're DC superheroes, so they're fucking awesome and they're incredibly powerful. Thing, and and the government on Earth is like, hey, there's a floating armada of super beings, death laser pointed at Earth. Maybe we should get a little scared, and they do. They make Cadmus, they make their own superheroes, they do a lot of espionage shit. It's really fucking cool. And eventually, they're like, they like people of the world pretty much tell them to stop it. The governments of the world are like, look, disband the Justice League. You people are fucking scary. And no one says it to them. Superman and the original members of the Justice League, are like, we should stop. People are scared of us, and we don't want that. So Superman has a press briefing like at DC and is like, we quit. We'll keep being superheroes, but we quit. No more Justice League. The end. Goodbye. And then people are like, but we like you. And he's like, yeah, well, we don't want to scare anybody. Bad thing. Unequivocally, we quit. We're not here to be an army to save lives. The majority of what we want to do is stop oil spills and forest fires. So that's it. And then they continue being the Justice League, but they make the Hall of Justice, which like it's in DC canonically. Like the American Hall of Justice is there. It's like across from the White House. And the whole idea is it's kind of like the end of Kingdom Come, where they decide we're not above anybody. We're different and we have a lot of power, and that means we have a lot of responsibility, but we're not yours. We are what you ask us to be just because we want to do good. Like fucking like the best firefighters, they're not exactly in a position of power. They're just kind of risking their lives to save people from fires.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you exclude the Greek extortionist firefighters who set fires to buildings and had people pay to make them put them out.
Yes, the vast majority of firefighters throughout history.
Yes. If you ignore those, there you go. Like, and I think that's something kind of beautiful. And I may be naive, but I think like that. I think most people are inherently good and selfless and altruistic. I just think that the evil ones are a lot louder and it's more aberrant, so it's a lot easier to focus on that because evil has levels. Mm-hmm. Good just kind of is, you know?
Yeah.
There's no level of good. You're like, you hear about somebody fighting against climate change, you hear about somebody feeding the homeless, you're like, that's a good thing. But there's like layers of evil you can focus on when it comes to people doing evil shit.
Yeah.
To oversimplify.
That just made me think of another shonen anime series, Fire Force.
Oh, I started that. It's so fucking cool.
Fire Force is so fucking cool, and I feel like it's underrated because people are like, "Oh, it's everyone just has fire powers." Okay,
fire is like my element, so no, I love
that. But like it's basically taking that ethos of like these are people who will run into like a burning building to save everyone, as many people as they can, and like amping that up to like 12 out of 10.
Yeah. The last episode I saw was the episode. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's a real good show. I highly recommend. I don't know. I'm not so sure about the overturning like the status quo on that show, but like I have a feeling it's gonna get there eventually.
I feel like from what I saw, it really has a character that's sort of hell bent on because like he's viewed as a fucking monster and like he's fighting for effective change. She's like, no, fuck all of you. I'm not a monster. I just have a weird smiling like quirk, and I love that so much. When I'm scared, I smile.
And like when he like his ideals of like my family fucking died in a fire when I was like a small child, and I want to make sure that never happens to anyone ever again in a world where people will just randomly turn into raging fire monsters. And like I think that puts his ideals directly at odds with like the ideals of like the ruling elite of his society.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that makes it so good. Like I really need to finish watching it. I got distracted by Chainsaw Man, which is a goddamn masterpiece.
I haven't started it yet.
Oh my god. Whatever you're watching right now, stop it. Watch Chainsaw Man instead. Chainsaw Man is, my god. It's one of those things, I actually can't overhype it. It's just fucking perfect. Like, it's like it took every side of the... Have you seen the opening?
I haven't seen a single aspect of it yet because I've heard it's that good, and I just wanted to wait until all of it was out.
Can we just watch the opening? Because it's so fucking good.
Can we watch the opening? Sure.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's the opening may be one of the best anime openings I've ever seen. And I say this as a die-hard Neon Genesis fan that has championed Cruel Angel's thesis their entire life.
I oh, have you seen Mob Psycho 100?
No, I haven't because I'm a loser and I keep not watching anime that I know will make me.
Yeah, Mob Psycho 100 is my favorite anime of all time, and it is also definitely like anti-status quo, but
Mhm.
in more of like the intimate uh like status quo type situation that we were talking about earlier with like a Jessica Jones type show.
Yeah.
Because it's about essentially like this kid who has like all powerful psychic abilities, but he insists on trying to improve himself without them. And so like he wants to like be like physically fit and also be able to like socialize in a healthy way and also be able to talk to girls maybe. And like
Yeah, yeah, that's why I wanted to watch it.
and like he's just this precious cinnamon roll who also is very much framed as being kind of autistic and
Mhm.
like able to he like visualizes his stress levels as like being on a bar of like 0 to 100%,
Yeah.
and whenever he hits like 100%, the Mob Psycho 100, like he kind of loses it in some kind of way.
Yeah.
um and it's really interesting to see just like this kid struggling to be better, and like the way it's like an inversion of like classic like anime battle tropes. Like the very first like big battle he gets into like is entirely focused around him not wanting to fight the guy who's trying to fight him. And like it's really interesting, like
That's
they
fucking awesome.
they're like every encounter for him is kind of like this, almost like a moral conundrum, or like some sort of like you know um opportunity to like learn and grow and like become a
That's
better
actually
person.
what Superman do. Like I
Yeah.
keep trying to like loop Superman back in because he covers all of superpowered media. That's actually the basis for Superman fights. That's why they're so compelling.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like, yeah.
that's so good. Speaking of Superman, I have something for you. This broke me the first time I read it in All Star Superman. Um, I saw somebody have Superman in the question mark chat, so I was like, oh, Superman content. I can. I hunted some down. A trigger warning for this for suicidal ideation and suicide. But I sent you a video if you'd like to show that at all. It's this is the reason like breaking this down bit by bit is exactly why like this is
Where did you
probably
send
the
it?
most. Oh, I sent it on Discord.
I don't see it.
What that? Oh, sorry, no, I did not. There we go.
Okay. Oh
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've definitely seen this.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, like Mom has big Superman vibes. But this scene right here where she's crying, and then that when he shows up behind her, um, that moment is normally horrifying, and because it's Superman, it's a friend showing up, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Superman's just the nicest guy. He's a man who can do anything and chooses to do good.
Yeah.
He's a man who can be anything and chooses to be kind. I think that's like what makes Mob so good, or makes what one a good writer because he understands that. Like I've seen One Punch Man, I've read a bunch,
Mhm.
and the whole point of that is having overwhelming infinite power to destroy anything. Not really make you happy. Like you're looking for what makes you happy as a person, and you want to follow that as much as possible.
Well, there's that, and also, and I think this is part of the one of the fantastical and aspirational elements of Superman is that like Superman is sincere in a
Yes,
in a in a almost revolutionary kind of way, because like you can trust Superman. He's not like trying to help you for ulterior motives. You know, like he's not gonna like take advantage of someone because they're weaker than him or like vulnerable, and like that's part of what makes him like a hero. You know, like, and the same cannot be said about a lot of people in our society, and that's part of what makes him so admirable, right?
Yeah.
Is not just like it's not really even anything to do with his strength. It is his trustworthiness, his dedication to what is right, and like his ability to just kind of like stand up for people who need some standing up for, you know?
Well, yeah. It's like it's because like it's one of his monikers. Because they say like he's Superman, Kal-El, or the Man of Steel. The most important one is he's the man of tomorrow. He's meant to be like the whole like in All Star Superman they have that famous the whole thing like lead them Kal-El, they will race behind you, they will stumble and they fall, and they will one day they will join you in the sun. Because that's the whole idea is he is what like he is supposed to represent what every person would be if they had just the power to do it. Because all like it comes from this idea like this idea that evil only exists when people desire control and domination and where they feel restricted or like to hurt another person because they themselves feel scared and hurt. And Superman is this guy who really, generally speaking, can't feel scared. He's invulnerable. He has all of the power. He has all of these things he can do. And because he's from that perspective where he can see the grand scope of things, he goes, "Oh, it's just us. Let's be nice to each other." And like that's the thing he's supposed to like bring people towards. And that sincerity is also what makes him so compelling. People who bump up against that are like, "Well, you can't be that sincere." Like Lex Luthor, he can't view Superman as a good guy because he knows that some like get something over on somebody, and he can't conceive of a dude who would do that. He can't imagine a person who wouldn't also be cynical and wouldn't also be shitty. That's why the Reeve movies still hit, because like that's how Lois is at first.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is really interesting, but and I think one of the aspects of the original Reed movies that bothered me was like, oh, you will lead them into the light, you know, you will be, but like the positive attributes of Superman, and I think this is really important, is like something that other people are capable of doing. You know, like the best of Superman are things that, you know, a non-super powered person can be. You know?
That's actually like that's the big thing of it. Like it's a story of an immigrant like strength to influence people comes from his culture, because like he's Moses. Like that's always been Superman's things. He's always been a Moses allegory, but he learns his values, things that make him so kind and loving, from like a bumpkin farm family, which I would kill to be the child of. Like Ma and Pa Kent are just really nice.
Yeah,
they're just nice, and like the whole ideal like behind Superman leading people into light isn't because he's naturally better. It's just because he has the power to do that, and he's just trusting the innate goodness of like Jor-El was trusting like the innate goodness of humanity to like help his kid out.
Yeah, I think like it's an element of his power is that he's just able to be there, you know, wherever there needs to be.
Yeah.
And that is important, and like that's kind of what makes it, I think, resonate as a story for people, is that like we all can be the person who is there at any given point in time. Like every one of us has the capacity to be that person, you know?
Yeah.
And in that sense, it makes it a really kind of a potent message for readers, you know? He's just like Mr. Beast.
He's just like Mr. Beast.
Exactly, LB.
Yep. He's just like if Superman were alive today, oh, YouTube, I saved 100 people from burning building? How did they react? Jesus Christ. Oh, also Gamergy, my opinion on Smallville. Um, an interesting time capsule of early 2000s melodrama, very candy sugar coating of Superman lore that ultimately understands the character on a very fundamental basis, but due to the restraints of budget and television storytelling, never reaches the height of what it could be. And that is only because of that. It is in no way at the fault of the writers to not be able to go, let's have Superman do a crazy space story, or when him meet the bottled city of Kandor, when they've got like a budget that consists of a shoestring and a tin can. They did their best with what they had, and they told some awesome stories. Although, and I will maintain this forever, fuck anyone who makes Superman a Jesus allegory. I'm tired of it. I hate it so much. Stop it. He's not Jesus.
Yeah,
Ah,
at the very least, make him some sort of Judaic figure.
he's Moses. That's always been the thing. Like that's I maintain this. The best version of doing a Superman movie right now would be him coming up against Brainiac, who is an authoritarian planet. He's the like the machine Brainiac as he's created and stuff, and he is literally holding Superman's people hostage. And him being able to go, hey, look, that's my Pharaoh. I'm Superman. I'm playing Moses, and him grappling with not him unleashing plagues on like Brainiac, but him being like, do I do that? Do I just go hell on earth to get my people back? Because the bottled city of Kandor is a chunk of Krypton that is preserved. It's fine. There are people in there that live they're side of the bottle, but they can't escape.
Your audio keeps like randomly like cutting out a little bit.
It's because Warner Brothers doesn't want me to make a better Superman.
It's true.
Damn it. I'm sorry. I'm getting a better mic soon. I just my community has helped me a lot with that. Duke Desiree specifically has been like absolutely supporting my channel and getting me like things that make things better. He's more of a golem figure. Actually, that would be the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Jack Kirby's self-insert.
Yeah, and isn't the Thing explicitly Jewish?
Oh yes, he had a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
After he accepted himself as the Thing, he just was like, I'm gonna have a bar mitzvah.
You know what? Okay, you know what? I really want, if we're gonna have like Marvel TV series, don't bring back the entire Fantastic Four. Just have the Thing television series about this guy coming to terms with the fact that he's a rock monster now.
I would kill for that.
And like reintegrating into like a New York Jewish society. that would be incredible.
Yes. So that like there's a story for that in the comics called This Man, This Monster. It's one of the best things that Lee and Kirby ever did together. And just the cover of it alone, I need this to be a full series. Exactly what you're saying. Whole entire TV series. I'm using Discord to send you the links and stuff, but that art, that like his character, his grappling with that is fucking amazing. Ben Grimm is one of the best characters in fiction. He is just this beautiful, sad man. Not like sad in a normal way either. He's a hard luck man. He's got a giant heart. He's covered in rocks.
He's like if someone took a down on his luck character from like a hard-boiled detective show, but then made him a rock monster on top of that. And but to be clear, he's not the detective in the hard-boiled like detective story. He's like the sad guy who's like maybe the sidekick or like an informant.
He's like the barkeep. Yeah. Depressed barkeep Ben Grimm. I need that.
Yeah.
Like bad. By the way, speaking of, like, I have to. He is Stan Lee's, or not Stan Lee's. He is Jack Kirby's self-insert character.
Yeah.
And read about Jack Kirby. He's fantastic. He'll make you happy. He'll make you a happier person. I actually have a cool story about him punching Nazis.
Oh, really?
If you'd like to hear it. Yeah.
Tell me more.
So, okay, Jack fought in the Europe against actual Nazis. He was also part of the U.S. propaganda corps to make Captain America comics to talk about stuff like against the Nazis. Captain America was very popular. Little known fact, because America teaching it, the Nazis were directly inspired by Jim Crow laws from the U.S., and there was an American Nazi party actively trying to compel America to fight for the Nazis during World War II.
True.
Some of those Nazis showed up at Marvel Review, and they thought, bring that pansy ass that writes Captain America downstairs. We're going to kick his ass. And there were 5 of them, and they heard Jack scream about Nazis beating the shit out of them while running down 4 flights of stairs, and they actually ran away. Jack Kirby.
Well, also Nazis are candy asses, okay? Like they
oh yeah,
yeah, they like they had to come with all 5 of them, because not just one of them would have been too scared by themselves.
Oh yeah, but the best part about this is Jack Kirby was a little man. He was a short king. He was 5'4", but he was also built like a brick shit house. So basically, little muscly guy screams at the top of his lungs about beating the shit. He tells them, like, stay down there, I'm coming to you. And they just fucking bolt out the door. And it sounds too cool to be like true, but literally nothing goes against this. Every single person who was there, every person who's written about it agrees that is exactly what happened. Jack would play it down and say he just yelled at him and told him to leave. But apparently he was coming down here to beat the shit out of 5 Nazis with his bare hands. What a fucking legend.
Absolute king.
Jack the King Kirby.
And yeah, he is he's just a little guy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some of these pictures of him here on the internet.
He was also incredibly progressive for his time. Like, if you look up some of the like the terminology he the 60s and 70s, but the man made Black Panther because there weren't other black superheroes, and he thought that was bullshit.
Yeah.
He was a very progressive person. Like by today's standards, he would be like a progressive lefty. Like, I think there's this really good article that calls him like the original social justice warrior. And it's pretty true. Like, if you put him into the context of his era, the dude was. I found it. It's a Vox article, and I'm not a big fan of Vox because they're usually their YouTube videos made me sad. They once wrote an article about how the MCU is garbage because it mixes genre. Yeah. I don't want cowboys with my spacemen. Fuck you. But like every like if you read through his stuff, like the words he chooses are pretty oomphy because, you know, he's a 60s comic book writer who didn't know that these were like kind of insulting terms.
Yeah.
But the sentiment that what he is saying is there aren't black superheroes, and they're not writing black superheroes because they're black. And I was like, on a basic human level, fuck all of that. I want a black superhero. I'm making a cool one, and not one that's like, you know, like based on stereotypes. He's the genius king of a foreign nation that comes in, beats the shit out of all of the Avengers, declares himself King T'Challa, and then helps them save the like. Cause think about like how radical that is. Like in the 70s, a superhero.
Jack Kirby was also part of the invasion force at D-Day, like part of the initial landing on the beach.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Like Kirby is the real deal when it comes to like when it comes to like when you think of the badass like World War II fighter who fought like for the good of mankind. Jack is actually that guy.
Yeah.
I love him. He also I can't get enough of this. This is another thing with him. There's a really good documentary that I can actually. It's all on YouTube. I'll send it your way. It's called Jack Kirby, King of Comics. And one of the things that he used to have, and this is like pre-internet days and everything. Sorry, it's called Jack Kirby Storyteller. Jack Kirby, like, yeah, and he used to have his address available and like his personal address for people to just like come see him. And people would do that. Like fans of the comic books would just come to his house and they'd show up. And his wife Roz, who was described in the documentary as she was a very loving Jewish woman who ran a very traditional Jewish household. And I guess if you went over to Jack's house, it was, oh, look at you. You need to sit down and eat. Oh, I'm not that hungry. No, you need to sit down and eat. I'm making you food right now. Sit down, eat, listen. You'll see. And like, she was basically the one in charge of making sure Jack fuck up his week because teenagers would come down there and they would picture Jack as like this 15-foot tall like superhero with the voice of Galactus and the strength of Ben Grimm. And I mean, look at him. Look at the little king. Like he'd sit there on that drawing board and he'd be working on a page and he'd be working like 5-6 pages a day, penciling 5 or 6 comic book pages a day. I do this as a job and I have the modern fucking technology to do it. This dude is doing it with pencil and paper. And he'd be like, oh, you like that page? Here you go. He'd sign it, just give it to a kid. And this is like paid work. Like, I have to redo that page. I didn't like how I was turning that. Here's a signed, original penciled picture from Jack Kirby for Thor #5. And Roz would have to be like, okay, no, Jack didn't mean that. Give me the page back, please. I want my husband to finish work today. And like, he would just sit there and he would just listen to kids talk about stuff, ideas that they had, or like ideas he wanted to share with them. And he was just a nice guy by all accounts. Like his kids, he wasn't allowed to drive cars from his family because he would apparently go off on tangents about like he's thinking like, oh, I have this idea for Galactus and I'm on Earth, and he'd start talking and he'd forget that he was driving a fucking car. And at one point he was driving his kid to school and he popped to the curb and ran over a fucking fire hydrant.
Oh god. Okay, he didn't kill someone. Excellent.
No, he never hurt anybody.
Okay.
But they were just like, Jack, stop it. You don't get to drive cars anymore. And he would just talk it out for hours and hours with his family because he worked at home. And for him, it was just a 9-to-5 job. He was just making comic books. And I aspire to be like this man on every fiber of my being. No, Jack only killed Nazis. He also, famous quote from him, I don't know much about politics. What I do know is, if a man liked Hitler, I'd punch him in the face. I mean, come on.
You know what? A political ideal I can get behind. Well, it's been really lovely talking to you. We've gone for a while now.
We have.
But
I think other people deserve a chance.
Yeah. Where can people find you and your work?
Well, I have a Twitter where you can find a lot of my stuff. I am at twitter.com at OccultComics.com. You can find me there. Or OccultComics.com. At OccultComics is my Twitter. And you can find me here on Twitch. I stream just about every day. Starting next week, I'm taking Saturdays and Sundays off. But you can find me at OccultComics on Twitch. You can also find my Discord link on my Twitch there if you want to jump in for movie nights or see any of my previous art or make suggestions for Fusion Friday, which is a thing we try to do every Friday where we take 2 ideas and like a few together. Today we did it was a sub baby from Hannah Reloaded's one of Hannah Reloaded's viewers. I think they might still be in chat Phoenix Light if you're here. It was Wednesday and Pugsley Adams, but they were the monsters, so it's Wednesday and Pugsley Monster. I also make a comic book called Legacy, which you can find at on Comic Fury. I can a link to that.
Yeah, put a link in the Discord. I can throw it in the chat.
Sure. And yeah, so Jack, where can people find you?
People can find me at twitch.tv/riverboatjack and on twitter.com/riverboatjack. And you can also find me over on Instagram.
Hey!
And I guess I gotta type Instagram. There you go. And yeah, it's a website. I post selfies. And I've seen your comic panels. You've posted like in progress panels. They're lovely. They're lovely.
I will do one bit of shameless self. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, go for it.
So I send you 2 pictures from my comic, so you can see some of the art for it. And my commissions are currently open. I have 1 commission slot open at the moment. I run 5 at a time. And if you'd like to get a slot, you could DM me on Twitter. When I finish one, I open up a new slot immediately afterward. All of my pricing is listed on my Discord, or on my Twitch, which I can pull up here as well. Let me get the image for it. And yeah, it is what lets me survive and money and not die. And I also have a merch store on the Discord stuff too, and all of the drawings. So yeah, if you want to come by and listen, scream at the void and draw pictures, ta-da!
Well, it's been really lovely having you on the show, and you should come back on sometime for us to just shoot the shit and talk about comics.
Absolutely, I would love to. This has been a blast. I have adored this. Thank you for having me on. Seriously.
Yeah, no problem. You take it easy, okay?
I will, and I'm gonna stick around and chat and listen.
Excellent.
So don't think I'm not here still. Say words.
Take it easy.
I will. Adios.
Bye.